The galaxy thought it understood humans. For centuries, alien scholars had studied Earth from afar. They had watched humans struggle with simple problems, saw them fight among themselves, and laughed at their primitive ways. In comparison, humans were weak, slow, and unremarkable. Advanced species with faster ships, stronger weapons, and better minds assumed they could predict everything humans would do. But when the Galactic Survey fleet finally arrived in orbit, they discovered something they had not expected. A massive cosmic storm was approaching Earth, the kind that could wipe out entire continents. Lightning from space would strike without warning. Powerful winds would toss buildings like toys. Evacuation plans were activated immediately across the galaxy. Ships carrying the young of every intelligent species were launched into orbit and beyond, taking the children to safe zones far from danger. Every species with a hint of foresight knew this was survival, the most basic instinct of life. Protect the young, save the future. Yet humans were different. Commander Valix, the lead observer of the survey fleet, watched the planet carefully. Through his ship's magnification, he saw parents gathering in the streets, not to flee, but to hold their children close. Fathers picked up toddlers in their arms, mothers held infants against their chests, and older siblings stayed by the sides of their younger brothers and sisters. They did not run toward evacuation shuttles. They stayed. They waited. They shielded. They prayed. Valix frowned, his 3 eyes narrowing. "This is unusual," he muttered to his assistant, a being named Krell. "Every species leaves the young first. It is the universal law of survival. Why would humans risk everything for children instead of saving themselves?" Krell tilted its head, scanning the chaos. "Perhaps they are not smart enough to understand the danger," it suggested. Valix growled softly. "Do not underestimate humans. I have seen their history. They are unpredictable, even when weak. Something is different here. Something no species in the galaxy has ever done." On the ground, the storm was moving closer. Dark clouds rolled over cities, turning sunlight into gray shadows. Thunder boomed like the growl of a massive beast. Rain lashed down in sheets. Lightning streaked across the sky in jagged silver lines. Every alien watching from orbit expected screaming, panic, and chaos. But the humans did not scream. Instead, they helped each other. Neighbors carried each other's children. Strangers formed chains to move the smallest and weakest away from danger. Even when debris blocked their paths, they lifted it together, pushing with all their strength. No one thought only of themselves. The storm was powerful, the kind that would break mountains, but humans seemed to face it not with fear, but with determination. Valix's antennas twitched in confusion. "This is not fear," he said quietly. This is something else." From the fleet above, every alien commander debated the situation. Some thought the humans were foolish. Some thought they were suicidal. But Valix watched closer. In every human face, he saw courage, resolve, and something even stranger, a kind of joy in protecting their young, as if it was the most natural thing in the universe. Hours passed. The storm drew nearer. Evacuation shuttles hovered, engines humming, ready to save the human children. And yet the parents did not move toward them. They stayed. They fought the wind. They battled falling debris. They carried. They lifted. They shielded. One small girl clutched her brother's hand as their mother guided them through the chaos. Another boy ran back into a burning building to save a lost toddler. Every action was small, ordinary, but together they formed a power humans called family, a power aliens could not understand. Valix stared, jaw tight. "The galaxy may think it knows humans," he whispered, "but it has never seen what they truly are. It is not strength in weapons, it is not speed, it is not numbers. It is this love, this courage, this unwillingness to abandon the young. And now we will see why humans never evacuate them." The storm roared closer. Shadows of lightning danced across cities, glass shattered, and the winds howled. The humans stood firm. Commander Valix leaned forward, his eyes narrowing even further. He could feel the pulse of something ancient, something raw and unmeasurable, something that no alien could calculate or fight. "They are hiding a secret," he said softly. "A secret that will change how the galaxy sees them forever." And in that moment, every alien watching knew that humans were different, not weak, not foolish, but unstoppable in ways they had never imagined. The storm raged on, yet the humans did not falter. Commander Valix and his fleet hovered silently above, observing through high-powered scanners. Every alien on the ship expected panic, chaos, and mass evacuation. They expected the humans to scatter like frightened animals. Instead, the planet below was alive with coordinated effort. Humans moved together in ways no alien intelligence had ever predicted. Fathers carried children on their shoulders while dodging falling debris. Mothers formed protective circles around toddlers, shielding them from the torrential wind. Older siblings held hands with younger ones, guiding them through streets slick with rain and rubble. Strangers worked side by side, forming human chains to transport the smallest and weakest away from danger. Valix's 3 eyes widened. This is unprecedented, he whispered. They are not fleeing. They are fighting chaos together. He sent out drones to gather more data. The machines captured moments that made even hardened alien soldiers shiver. A boy no taller than a meter lifted a crate from a collapsed doorway so his little sister could escape. A group of teenagers formed a human barricade against a rushing river of mud and debris, holding it back long enough for children to pass safely. In the middle of what should have been total destruction, humans organized themselves. Their movements were fluid, precise, yet fueled by raw emotion. Krell, Valix's assistant, analyzed the drone footage and shook its head. They are not using advanced technology to survive, it said. No force fields, no shields, no exosuits, just themselves. Valix nodded slowly. Exactly. Their survival depends not on what they build or invent, but on their bonds, on their will. They risk their lives willingly, not for victory, but for others. The young. Always the young. In one remarkable moment, the fleet's cameras caught an elderly human lifting a crying infant from a flooded street, carrying it on his back as he waded through waist-deep water. A woman soaked to the bone ran past him with another child in her arms. Together they found safety behind a collapsed building. When a flying piece of debris narrowly missed the infant, the old man blocked it with his own body, taking the full force himself. Valix's mouth opened in disbelief. No species in the galaxy valued life in this way. No species willingly faced certain danger to protect the weak and innocent. A young alien analyst spoke up nervously. Commander, is it possible they are genetically programmed to do this? Valix shook his head. No, this is not instinct alone. Instinct is self-preservation. These humans, they think beyond themselves. They calculate risk, yes, but they choose to face it for others. Every action, every choice is deliberate, and every choice is guided by love, something we cannot quantify. Valix zoomed in on a human family on the edge of a broken bridge. Rain pounded their backs, and lightning illuminated their determined faces. The parents were exhausted, soaked, and bleeding from minor injuries, yet they held their children tighter, their gazes sharp, their steps careful. Even when the bridge swayed dangerously, they inched forward slowly, never letting go. This is not just courage, Valix muttered to Krell. This is a force, a strategy no weapon can measure. They are weak individually, yes, but together they are unstoppable. The drones continued their sweep, revealing more wonders. Humans were improvising tools from debris, creating rafts to cross flooded streets, using fallen tree branches as shields, and carrying children across burning ruins. They were inventive, fast, thinking, and fearless, and yet they never abandoned anyone. Not a single child, not a single elder. Valix finally spoke aloud, more to himself than anyone else. Every species leaves the young first. Every species thinks of itself before the children. Humans are different. They measure life differently. They risk everything for what matters most. And now I think I understand why. Krell's voice was quiet. Do you think we could learn it? Could the galaxy ever understand this? Valix's gaze lingered on the humans as they battled the storm together. No, he said slowly, not fully. You cannot learn courage. You cannot program love. You can only witness it. And when the galaxy finally sees what humans are capable of, it will never be the same again. Below them, the storm continued to rage. Yet humans moved like a single organism, a force of nature in their own right. Not perfect, not indestructible, but unyielding, fearless, and united in ways no alien mind could ever predict. And Commander Valix knew, with a certainty he could feel in his bones, the galaxy was about to discover the true power of humanity. The storm hit like a living creature. Lightning tore across the sky, slashing cities in silver fire. Winds howled like monstrous beasts, ripping roofs from homes and tossing cars into rivers of mud. Thunder shook the earth itself, sending tremors through every street. Galaxies away, the alien fleet expected Earth to crumble within minutes. They expected mass chaos, screams, and complete evacuation. But Earth did not collapse. Humans fought the storm. They ran through flooded streets, carrying children, forming human chains across rivers of debris. Mothers pressed infants to their chests, rocking them gently even as the storm tried to snatch them away. Fathers lifted toddlers over broken bridges, balancing on crumbling structures with arms like steel beams. Every human movement was deliberate, precise, and fearless. Valix could hardly believe his sensors. They are facing destruction willingly, he murmured, his voice almost a whisper in the control room. Every species flees. Every species abandons the weak. Not these humans. Not ever. The aliens watched a mother drag a small cart through mud and rubble, carrying 2 children and a crying toddler in a sling. Lightning split the sky, illuminating her face. Her eyes were tired, streaked with mud and tears, but they shone with unyielding determination. She did not run. She did not hesitate. She moved forward step by step, never letting go of her children. Valix leaned over the holographic map. They are coordinating, even in chaos. Look, formations, chains, groups. They are improvising, creating paths, shields, tools. It is instinct, but also calculation. And courage beyond reason. Krell clicked its mandibles nervously. Commander, the storm's energy could destroy entire cities in minutes. They are risking everything. Why would they do this? Why not save themselves first? Valix shook his head slowly. Because humans value more than themselves. They value life, and the young above all. It is not just instinct, it is love. And the galaxy has never faced anything like it. Below, a group of teenagers ran into the heart of the storm, using fallen beams as shields to carry a small child trapped under rubble. Sparks flew as lightning hit nearby buildings, sending flaming debris across the street. Yet they did not falter. One boy tripped and fell. Another picked him up instantly without hesitation, continuing to move forward, carrying both the child and the boy he saved. Valix's jaw tightened. No weapon, no shield, nothing we have can withstand this force, and yet they endure, they adapt, they survive. Across the city, a father carried a baby in one arm and an older child in the other. His legs slipped on the slick ground, but he never let go. A flash of lightning lit his face, showing determination etched into every line. The storm tried to push him back, to crush him under rubble and wind, and yet he advanced, step by step, inch by inch. Every human he saw was doing the same. The aliens began to murmur in their ships. "This is madness," one said. "They are doomed." Valix's antennas twitched. No, they are not doomed. Not while they move together. Not while they fight for each other. The galaxy measures strength in fleets, weapons, and numbers, but humans measure strength in courage, unity, and heart. And their strength is unstoppable. Hours passed. The storm battered cities, tearing everything in its path. Yet humans continued their slow, deliberate march through danger. Every parent, every sibling, every stranger risked themselves for the weak, the small, the innocent. The alien observers recorded it all, trying desperately to understand. Every move, every act, every life saved defied all their calculations. Valix finally said aloud, his voice low and filled with awe, "They are not just survivors. They are something else entirely, a force that cannot be predicted. A power the galaxy has never seen. And the moment we understand it, it will change everything." And in the eye of the storm, humans stood unbroken. The wind screamed. Lightning struck. Buildings crumbled. Yet they moved as one. Parents shielding children, teenagers carrying the smallest, neighbors helping neighbors. Step by step, heart by heart, they proved something no alien had believed possible. Humans never abandon the young, and in doing so, they become unstoppable. Valix watched silently, realizing that the galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. When the storm finally passed, the earth was scarred. Streets were flooded, buildings cracked, and debris littered every corner. The alien fleet hovered above, scanning for survivors. Many had expected a mass of destroyed cities and broken humans, but what they saw instead stunned them. The humans were alive. Every child the aliens had tracked was safe. Parents were bruised, battered, and exhausted, but they were standing. They held their children, reassured the frightened, and comforted strangers as if they had known them all their lives. In the wreckage, there was no chaos. There was organization, care, and a quiet pride that the aliens could not comprehend. Commander Valix leaned forward, his antennas twitching with disbelief. This is impossible," he said, almost to himself. "Every species would have lost hundreds, thousands. And yet these humans," he paused, searching for words. "They survived, they endured, and they protected the young." The aliens began analyzing the patterns. Drones replayed footage of parents shielding toddlers from flying debris, of teenagers lifting children over dangerous streets, of neighbors forming human chains to carry infants to safety. Every act was deliberate. Every act showed thought, courage, and an unwavering commitment to others. Krell, the assistant, finally spoke, its voice trembling slightly. "Commander, they risked everything. Not for glory, not for survival alone. For the young, always the young." Valix nodded. "Yes, that is the key. Every species in the galaxy evacuates the young first. Every species values its own life above all. Humans measure life differently. They see their young not as burdens, but as the essence of everything worth protecting." The alien commanders whispered among themselves. Some were in shock, others in disbelief. "They are fragile," one said. They have no shields, no weapons strong enough to stop us. How did they survive? Valix's voice was calm, almost cold in its clarity. Because their strength is not in what they wield. It is in who they are. In their courage, their determination, their refusal to leave one behind. That is something no fleet, no weapon, no species can ever destroy. As the fleet observed, humans began helping each other rebuild. They cleared rubble, built makeshift shelters, and tended to the wounded. Fathers handed infants to strangers while mothers lifted debris. Even children carried supplies to others who needed them. Every act reflected a sense of unity the aliens could not compute. Valix turned to Krell. Do you understand now? We measure power in weapons, fleets, and technology. Humans measure power in heart. And when the galaxy finally understands this, it will never be the same. A low murmur passed through the alien fleet. Many had underestimated humans for centuries. They had laughed at their small, fragile forms, their clumsy technology, their simple lives. Yet here they were, surviving storms that could have wiped out entire civilizations not by strength, but by love, courage, and unity. Valix continued, every species believes it knows what it means to survive. Every species thinks strength is numbers, strategy, or firepower. Humans survive because they fight for each other. They fight for their young, and when you fight for something greater than yourself, no force in the galaxy can defeat you. Krell's voice was quiet, awed. So it's not about how strong they are, it's about what they value. Valix's eyes scanned the planet below. Families hugged, strangers helped strangers, children laughed even amid the chaos. Yes, he said softly, and the galaxy has never seen anything like it. They are fragile, yes, but together they are unstoppable. For the first time in galactic history, the survey fleet commanders realized something profound. Humans were weak individually, yes, but their unity, their courage, and their love for the young created a strength no alien army, no storm, no weapon could ever match. Valix recorded his report carefully. Species of the galaxy, hear this: underestimate humans at your peril. Their power is not in their technology, it is in their hearts. And the moment we finally grasp that truth, the galaxy will never underestimate them again. And as the sun broke through the clouds, casting golden light across cities scarred but not broken, the aliens understood. Humans had revealed a secret no one had ever seen before, a secret that would redefine the galaxy's understanding of strength, courage, and survival. The storm had passed, but the echoes of it remained. Cities were scarred, rivers overflowed, forests were flattened, and the streets were littered with debris. Yet on every street, every square, every small corner of the planet, humans moved with a quiet, unshakable determination. They rebuilt what was broken. They helped the injured. They carried the smallest and weakest to safety. And above all, they never abandoned one another. Commander Valix hovered in orbit, watching through his fleet's sensors. He had spent decades studying civilizations across galaxies, observing empires that spanned thousands of systems, fleets that could destroy planets, species that measured their worth in power and conquest. And yet he had never seen anything like this. Humans were weak individually, yes, but together they were a force of nature unlike anything the galaxy had ever known. He recorded his observations carefully. The galaxy has underestimated humans for centuries, he said quietly. They are small, fragile. Their technology is simple, but their courage, their unity, their determination to protect the young, it cannot be measured by any weapon, no matter how advanced. Their strength comes from their hearts, and the galaxy has never faced anything like it. Reports from other alien commanders confirmed what Valix had already concluded. Every family had survived. Every child had survived. Even in the worst-hit areas, humans had helped each other, forming chains of protection, lifting debris and creating shelters from rubble. Where the storm had torn apart cities, humans had built paths, shelters, and bridges. They improvised, adapted, and above all, never abandoned the young. Valix's mind raced. Every species in the galaxy leaves the weak behind in disasters. Every species evacuates the young and hopes for survival. Humans do not. They fight for each other. They risk everything for what matters most. That is not instinct. That is purpose. That is courage beyond reason. Alien analysts whispered among themselves. It cannot be. A species so weak, how can they survive storms like this? Valix shook his head. They survive because they are willing to do what no other species will. They fight not for conquest, not for glory, not for survival alone, but for each other. Their power is not in weapons or ships. It is in their hearts, their families, and their unity. And when the galaxy finally understands this, it will never be the same. Across Earth, humans were already moving forward. Children laughed despite the chaos, elders smiled through exhaustion, and parents held their young tight, never letting go. Strangers hugged strangers. Communities worked together. Even animals, sensing the calm determination of humans, followed them safely through ruined streets. It was not just survival, it was a celebration of life, courage, and connection. Valek sent a final report to the Galactic Council. Species of the galaxy, hear this carefully. You may measure strength in fleets, weapons, and technology. Humans measure strength in courage, unity, and the protection of the young. Do not underestimate them. Do not attempt to conquer them. Do not assume they are weak. They may be fragile, but together they are unstoppable. The galaxy has never seen anything like them, and it will not forget it. Other species began to murmur, some in fear, some in awe. Fleet commanders realized that humans were not just another species. They were a new benchmark for the galaxy, a force defined not by firepower, but by heart. For centuries, empires had believed they ruled the stars. Now, they understood that the true power in the galaxy was something no weapon could destroy, the courage and unity of a species willing to fight for the young, no matter the cost. Valek leaned back in his chair, antennas drooping slightly. He had seen the impossible, studied it, and now he knew it to be true. The galaxy believed it was safe from the weak, he said softly. But humans are anything but weak. They will redefine every rule we thought we understood. And the galaxy will never be the same again. Below, as sunlight broke through the storm clouds, humans continued to move. They rebuilt, they comforted, they laughed, and they protected. And in every action, they proved a simple truth: you may underestimate them, you may challenge them, you may even try to destroy them, but humans will never abandon the young, and in doing so, they become unstoppable. The galaxy had discovered the greatest secret of all. Strength is not in the weapon, but in the heart. And no heart burns brighter than that of humanity.